I think the perfect slot, honestly, for it would be is if it would be Circles Buddy. If you can message Circles Buddy
Yeah,
or like Circles Help or something,
yeah,
keep that chat in the app.
yeah. I mean, there is a chat there. I see people go to it and read there. I don't really ever see them try and type.
Hmm.
It would be helpful, wouldn't it?
I mean, rather than having to support, rather than having to support multiple chats.
Yeah, that's true. Can we have a module there though under the help thing?
Well, then I guess it's the same thing. Somebody would have to like still support that account.
Right.
Hmm.
That's okay.
We would we'd have to create like a deep link that would go to a convo, compose with Circles Help filled out.
Yeah.
Maybe we have to talk it through a little more because like with push notifications too, you're only allowed right now. It's only allowed that like one device is expected to be on an account at one time.
Well, I mean,
So,
we have that web view. Why don't we use it? Let's use the service you were talking about.
oh, so okay, you want to use Intercom? Yeah,
Yeah.
Intercom has. So I'm looking at Talk To, and they're like their big shtick is they're free.
Hmm.
Um, Intercom is supposed to have like a pretty good startup program, if I recall. Like they are kind of pricey, not way too pricey, but
Okay. Well, I'll let you and Danny talk that one through.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe and Todd may be able to assist also. But well, let's get started. We were going to talk to Amine about the subscription, also for the Friend Connect, right?
Yeah. And just make sure that's all in there.
Yeah. So Todd, that Friend Connect thing, I think we got getting to the bottom of a major defect to it, which is it doesn't start unless the app is fully closed and reopened. And
Oh wow. So it won't just run when the app is open.
yeah, we
Only
want
starts
yeah.
after it reopen.
Well, if you have it backgrounded, we want it to start when you foreground it, but it doesn't.
All right.
Um, I mean, you were going to work on the what was the other subscription? Oh, for badges, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can this all be fallen under the same umbrella of having the Friend Connect also start off of a subscription, but when even if the app was backgrounded and then you foreground it?
No, when the app is backgrounded, we can't because the app needs to be on foreground to catch that subscription.
We have a query, I mean, we have a query that we could check because there was something that we're doing yesterday. We talked about yesterday that we're gonna call a query
Okay.
when you unbackground the app. So
Yeah.
worked on a query and a subscription. It's like called get badge level or action or something like that.
Yeah, in this case, then yeah, like because nothing works when the app in background. But yeah, we can when a user unbackground the app, we can detect that and there we can call the query.
Yeah, I think that change needs to be done. Like if you do like where they unbackground the app, we call the query. But there's also just the case of we have to make sure that there are certain screens that don't get interrupted.
Mm-hmm.
And we just I think they are already in the code as like they can't be interrupted. We just want to make sure that whatever changes we make don't break that.
When it comes to the Friend Connect, did we do that? Because I don't mind that one being real time almost pretty much anywhere.
Right.
Because you can always say not now. Do you recall, Jerry, if we prevented the Friend Connect? I know we do, we prevent the badges.
Mm.
like
Sure.
yeah, like if I'm favoriting something,
Mhm,
we don't want the badge animation to interrupt me before I get to the end of the favorite flow.
mhm.
I don't remember those.
If you,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was sorry, I'm not sure I have this right or not. If you say not now to the friend connect, does it like re-queue it for another time,
No,
or is it gone forever?
it's gone, but it's in your alerts if that's working properly, which it may or may not be. We got to look at that too. But so all right, well, let's start with step one. I mean, can we get it to work the way Jerry's saying, where the app's in the background and then you foreground it?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Is this like a new query or like we already have it and we need to
Query
implement?
already exists. It should be called like get badge. It's like called badge level or action or something like that.
Okay, but this is like this is Friend Connect. Are we gonna use the same query for Friend Connect or
Yeah, friend connect would be an action. It's like badge level or action, and friend connect would be an action.
okay?
You want to Slack that to him, Jerry?
Yeah, let me. I'm looking for the name of it right now.
Okay.
I also take note of that.
Okay, cool. I want to keep improving on this new user experience.
Is it just badge level leaderboard? Um, or maybe we don't put that as part of the subscription. I'm looking here.
Wait,
Um,
and subscription or query?
it must be part of a subscription, Jerry, because it happened yesterday in
well,
real time.
yeah, I'm speaking about if it's. It looks like it's not badge level action. It's badge level leaderboard, but we have a subscription for the user action. Let me just get the names for all this. I'll send it to me. Sorry, causing people confusion.
No worries.
Uh,
While you're doing that, I mean, how did it go yesterday? Did you get that Android thing solved?
Yeah, like now, I need to share my screen so it's
Okay.
second. So, as a quick recap, I was working on the weird thing with the action bars and like the status bar, how it's like inconsistence. There was like some kind of inconsistency how we doing it and how we were working with it, and it
Mhm.
was causing the like when you try to navigate from screen to another, sometimes it's caused this layout shift, and also some lothies to be rendered like under the navigation bar, which causes some elements to hide to be hidden. But right now it's not like even I'm not sure if you remember last time if I go to the home, it was like this jump going on, which was called
Mhm. Yeah, it's
thingy.
not
Now, yeah, now it's not, and it's
nice.
smooth. Like
Oh, that's better.
yeah, it's a lot of there, and also like
What was
um,
that? Just
That,
sorry, what?
that's only in dev. You won't
Oh, okay, okay.
you won't see that. But yeah, keep going.
yeah, and so there's that, and also like I'm not sure if it's still it should be happening, but like right now, if you're home and you go the map, there was some jumping, like some layout shifts happening. That's
Mm.
not happened too. Yeah, I fixed that. Like right now, what I'm working on since like this causes some lothies not to position well. Like it was causing some like some it needs some padding fixes and margin fixes. Like an example, it's this one that I'm working on right now. It's like you see this white in here?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of it. It was not like this like when I just started working on it. Things were not well placed. Things were pushed in like to the top in here, which
Mm-hmm.
that means right now we will be like dealing Android the same as we like dealing in iOS. Because like in iOS, when we render something, we are expecting that thing it's gonna from right to the top to the bottom. And with Android, it was not. It was we could not render anything under the status bar or the navigation bar. Like, so we also had this thing going on. If Android add like a 20 margin or something like that to have it look like iOS, but now this is all gone, and we're not gonna be doing that in code, which is making
But are you still considering older operating systems for Android?
yeah. This is like yeah, it's gonna be older and new.
Okay. Okay, cool. So will that status bar down, the nav bar down at the bottom, will that be but just permanently here on the screen?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Because I do see the buttons, so it's just not pushing.
yeah, it's not pushing. Like you can see, like we can now render below it because
Right.
this is
Mhm.
I mean, I can in this case like have this lothy to be like, for example, start from here, but I
It
wanted
might
to
have
match
been.
with what we have with iOS because this
I
is
see.
like a lothy.
Yeah. But I
So
thought we talked yesterday about just leaving that nav bar everywhere.
yeah, I know that. I know like I thought like whenever there's like this
Yeah,
like
that one.
combined.
Sure. Only when we have our own nav bar, you mean? I mean
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that's fine, but are you making it
No, it's like this is this way. It's less complex
okay? That's what
because
I'm looking
yeah,
for, less
yeah,
complex.
yeah. It's I don't have to do more code checks to have anything in here. It's like whatever works for iOS works for Android. Like it's like yeah, I don't have to do extra steps to get it work. I will be doing that if I want to have our UI like this navbar always here, not
Mhm.
a render and under it. That's where I need to add more code
Oh,
because now we're just like bringing it back to how it was, and yeah,
I see. Okay.
and yeah, like I'm like whenever there's this type of lothies I'm working on, like worked also on the home menu. There were some issues here too. Things were pushed to the top. Um, this help one too, like this. So yeah, like what like other one like there's like I still have few losses to go after to making sure it's all like it's all like rendered correctly and everything, and it's done. It's just like right now it's not like a work of figuring out what's going on. Like whenever I found the lottie, I know exactly why it's not like, for example, that white space, why it's there, and I go there and fix it.
Mhm.
Like almost like immediately. I don't have to. I don't have to like trying things a lot to figure out what's going on because like I know what's the issue
Okay.
now.
What
So
about like the friend connect where we don't have back button? You know,
that
it's a
one,
full.
yeah, that one I still didn't get there.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's yeah, it's you can think of it of it's a little bit of refactoring on how we rendering lotties for Android.
Mhm.
So yeah, so it's right now I have like how many file changes? Like 20 file that I've did some edits on. So it's gonna
Mhm.
be a little bit big PR,
I see.
where, but it's gonna improve a lot the
Okay.
the
Well, that's
it's
good.
of the Android, and also like for us when we be like working on something, we will not have to this thinking of, oh, okay, this is Android. I have to cover like the status bar, nav bar, and everything. Now we will not have to. It's like whatever works for iOS. Like as far as like the bounding box of the device, it's gonna be the same for the Android.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So it sounds like you still have a lot more on this to do before you can look at the other things.
Yeah, wanting to finish it today, but I know still we'll have to do a build too to make sure um
Yep.
like
Yeah.
every other place is covered. And also the other issue with the keyword, I think it's related to this now because when I worked on this, I found like there's this function from reanimated we using for keyboard. It was like causing some issues, like some jumping and some stuff not to be working. So the other issue that Chantel's shared, where the keyboard was covering the input, it's gonna be related to this, and I think I fixed it while I was working on this.
Oh, that's excellent. Well, good. Maybe this will be really good time well spent for the future.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure, for sure.
that's great. Okay. All right. Well, I am eager to get some of those other things worked on, but this is important future proofing. So, um, thank you for the update. Anything else you want to add or any questions for anybody?
No, like I'm going on this. Also, I'm taking notes on stuff that we're working on. Also, like you sent me the uh the other thing. You said like the what is it? We're
It's
gonna
yeah,
hide.
it's
Yeah,
kind of just a style change.
yeah, like to hide if there's no suggestions.
That one, yeah.
Yeah, that one I already worked on it yesterday when we were talking.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Um,
so yeah.
what about the one that if we go back to our Slack messages, right above that, Danny Hinkle showed up twice.
Oh
If you
yeah,
look,
yeah. That's I have to work on it. It's on my note too.
okay, that one probably.
I know why it's going on because probably we didn't handle this case because it was added from previous screens and
Mhm.
it was not taken into consideration to whether the show added here or not because it was coming from the other screens and not from a query here. So I will
Mm,
look, take the whoever got added from the other screens and he's showing up in a list should be says added as well.
yeah. Okay. And that doesn't need any additional from the back end.
No, no, I think it's all fun stuff.
Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, and then there'll, there'll be some style changes and things, but we can work on that. Probably end up being Monday, but and then I guess Monday too. Or if you finish quick enough today, maybe look into why that message was pre-populated again.
Yeah, that one. I'm not sure if you remember, but like we had that issue.
Mm,
I worked on it first, but we thought it's happening only in one screen, which is like after you favorite something. There was like a chat input there,
mm.
which has a previous, previous sent text, but it's happening in other places too. And we discussed it with Ismail. I remember
Is it
that.
possible? You know what? I was in build 32. Is it possible that it is resolved in build 33?
I don't think so. He didn't work on this. Like I didn't remember reviewing PRs that had anything related to this because
Uh,
this was introduced when Ismail started working on like saving the text. Like I remember how if you like for example,
yeah, when you navigate and then come
yeah,
back.
yeah,
Yeah,
like if you do something and you go back, you find it again.
right.
When it started happening,
Yeah.
so I'll
Well,
have to.
it's kind of been happening like here and there from the very beginning. Just we've
Yeah,
been addressing it.
so yeah, because like the logic that he's using here to save the text,
Hmm.
it seems it bleeds whenever there's an input, chat input. So there's something faulty going on with this input where it's being reused. So I'll have to look into the original implementation and see what's going on.
Okay. Is this a different branch from one where you handled the what's streaming chat modal? Because
Oh
that
yeah, a different branch. Yeah, yeah.
okay. Okay, cool. All right. Then yeah, so we'll get to the that message thing later.
Okay.
Because yeah, I remember he had his fix. His solution was to just prevent it from happening. It wasn't like really like a root cause solution. It was more just find the screens that's happening and then prevent it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So maybe I don't know if it had something to do with me sharing a podcast. Does it matter if I share a podcast or a show or a book? Like, does each one of those have to be
It
addressed?
seems like whenever you send a message, somehow it keeps that message is still. Yeah, when you share, yeah, yeah, I think yeah, because I remember just now he was talking about like so each message that he saved, he map it with a group ID. So when you go and you want to share, right now there's no group ID. So I think so. Yeah, yeah, one of the issues that I was talking about, like you see here, things
Yeah.
are going. But before it was not the case because we could not able to render
Hmm.
anything here. But
Hmm.
now we have the whole device as a canvas. So yeah, it's one of those places that I have to take care
Yeah.
of. So yeah, I was trying to explain. Maybe I'm not explaining it right, but like it was having like there's some logic to how he saved the text, and that logic. Uh, I think this is where the trigger is like if you're gonna send a message from here and you still did not select any group, this message it gets saved with like for example a grouped ID that it's undefined, and whenever you try to go share again or something like that, it pops up because he thinks this is the same group you're in it, but it's not. So something like here is failing. So I'll have to look more in it.
Okay. In the case yesterday, I think I was in the chat and I hit the share button, searched a podcast, and then shared it with a message without leaving. I was in the chat stack.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not about the sharing. It's like the message. You see that it says like that found this super cool podcast. Like why exactly that one? I'm sure you did send to them messages.
Right. I've done lots of messages. I haven't seen that.
So that message, so that was saved. It was saved with a key, and that key was undefined. And now that you start in a new chat, the key is still undefined. And the logic think, oh, this is the same group, so I'll just grab that input, that text here, where it should not be.
Hmm. I see. Okay. Well, sounds like at least you know where to look for it.
Hmm.
Okay. I had another question. Um, go back. I don't know why something jogged my memory. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's minor, but if you go back to the chat compose, that doesn't look right. How come the drawer was up in that situation like that?
Was up.
Yeah, I guess
I was
is that
scrolling. I was scrolling. No, it was like I made it like this.
yeah.
This is what we're talking about. Something
But
like
you have
this.
to just oh yeah, I guess that's
Yeah, like because this is
you were
how I have.
scrolling. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, go back to the chat compose. Um, I am just curious. Yeah, go ahead and open chat. On Android, why is the to field? Because see how when you were showing me where the cancel button was up in the status bar, but like the to field has a lot extra height, and then also even the input field for the chat box has a lot of extra height compared to iOS, which is weird because like why are they not the same values?
Mm, I'll have to look. I'm sure like we're having the same values. Just so much stuff with Android. I mean,
because
like,
it would
yeah.
help just a little bit, not push like the share button all the way up like that.
Well, the share button, it's in here right now because the things that I'm working on,
Mhm.
that's why it's pushed in here, not because this is big.
Well, and I know, but it would still be more space unless it just brought everything up instead of bringing that part down. I guess either way, I'm just saying it would look better if it was
Mhm.
equalized.
Yeah, yeah, I get, yeah, yeah, I
And
agree.
it's a little more pixels for the preview window there, the message window. Some phones are smaller. It's just minor, but also I know because I noticed when you were sharing something, that's when it got even more compacted because it's more of a modal, so it doesn't go all the way to the top, I think.
Yeah,
And then the input field was really large, and then the to field was really large. And by the time it's all laid out, yeah, you had the header up in the status bar, and it was a very narrow um, viewable window, and I think we can shave some padding off of these. Yeah, exactly like that. Like it's close. Like see how the group button isn't quite centered, but in the
yeah,
two, yeah, in the two field, or the word two,
yeah. It's like there's something going on here. So,
but it's
um,
still better. Like, I don't know, this looks better. I
yeah,
would I would keep it.
mm-hmm.
But maybe just play with that a little bit to try and get it more like iOS.
Okay. Oh, taking all of it.
Okay. You don't want to leave it how you had it.
No, because I just uncomment something just to make sure, just to verify what's causing the space
Uh,
causing it. But
so you
uh,
commented something out, and that's what reduced it.
yeah, I just like, well, I just went and deleted the text input to see how it's going to be looking. So this is without the text input. So if I type here, there's no cursor. So the spacing that's happening here, it's not coming in from the input or something
Uh,
else. So
got
this extra space, it's something else that's causing it. Not exactly the input. Maybe the
mm,
container, maybe something else. So but it's not the input. That's why I commented it first, just to make sure.
gotcha. Okay. Okay. Well, that'll be a nice improvement. So, what else? Anything else?
No,
Okay. Well, then we're looking good. Thanks for the update.
no, no.
All right. Jerry, why don't you give yours?
Yeah. We were doing a lot of testing yesterday with just going over user onboarding flow, checking a couple queries. Did have something for Wells for the onboarding for contacts. I would like when we allow contacts, we should report the number of contacts in the contact book when we send to Amplitude how many contacts, or when we send to Amplitude if a user allowed contacts, because there was a user that what's that?
That's right. I remember we talked about that yesterday.
There was a user that onboarded yesterday. We didn't know if we got their contacts or not, and it was because we didn't get that information from Amplitude, but we should be able to report it to Amplitude, no problem. We just need Wells to put it in.
Wells, did you catch that?
A little bit, but not completely.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that yesterday, right, Jerry? We know that the contacts were allowed, but we just don't know how many were
Right.
shared.
Mhm. I
Can we
remember us talking about it yesterday, but it's a little bit confusing in my head still. Not sure I fully catch it.
in Amplitude, is there an easy way to pass that number, the number of contacts that were shared? Wells, are you aware of that?
Uh, Sorry, didn't know the question was for me. I was asking Jerry. Uh, so what
Can
are
you
we
help?
trying to do exactly regarding this person's contacts? Because she had contacts already, and she tried importing more contacts.
No, she just onboarded. She allowed contact permissions.
Okay,
We
okay.
still don't know how many she allowed. We don't know if she hit maybe later. We know she allowed partial contact.
Oh, I think I got it now. Because on iOS specifically, you can select uh, a specific amount of the contacts to be shared, not fully shared. I see. I see.
Mhm. Regardless, if we partially or fully share, I
Uh-huh.
want to know how many contacts we got from them, and we can use this to check against our contact importer to make sure that the contacts that we're importing are correct.
I see. So you want to know exactly how many contacts are we importing? We don't have that information yet.
Correct. Well, we have an API call, but what happened is this user, the API for upload contacts did not get triggered. So we don't know how, if like there were contacts that were attempted to be uploaded. So I just want to know how many contacts are in their contacts book before we do anything with it.
Yeah, I'm still confused about it because how do we know that in the first place?
Yeah, we get it after they allow their contact permission. So if they allow contacts and they only select 2 contacts in iOS, then that number should say 2. I don't want to know how many contacts are in their contact book, period. I want to know how many they allowed.
That makes
Oh,
sense.
indeed. So that is important on amplitude.
Yeah, we would like to know that. Can you track that?
I can try.
Okay. Do you have any questions about that? Well,
We'll have. Let me just go through amplitude. What do you remember the name of the event, Jerry, so I can properly investigate it better?
It's like contact permissions allowed,
Uh-huh.
denied, or contact permission granted.
Contact permission. Okay, give me 5 minutes. Take a look at that.
Mhm. We already talked about the prescription. Um, I've been working on the image optimization. We got in the weeds yesterday, so I didn't have any time to work on it. But I think I'm finished. I just about finished it up, and I
you
wanted
already implemented some of that, right?
in QA. There were a couple other things that I wanted to add it for.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Oh.
only updated the group images,
okay. But that was in production.
only for the group images.
That was a big improvement.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I noticed that.
But now, for example, let me tell you in production. Um, let me get. I had this information. Um, and it's when somebody uploads a really nice profile picture that. Let me get it. A culinary, well, like a high resolution profile image. That's kicks us a bit as far as bandwidth. Let me get
Uh-huh.
here.
Speaking of that, Chantel, I know you've been having trouble uploading videos and images and such. Can you work with Wells today? Try and get as far as you can. It's the end of the week, but I'd like to see you guys solve any issues with the photo picker or like things not uploading. It's just you have probably work side by side on it.
In 33?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
Are
that'd
you
be
asking Sean? I'm sorry, asking Chantel or me to work with Walls?
Chantel. Are you still having trouble with it, Chantel?
I was as of last night,
Okay, well that's
but I
pretty
haven't tried today.
yeah, nothing's changed since yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to come back to you too regarding some of the other things you mentioned, the crash bug and stuff.
Yeah.
But why don't you can slack Wells on the side here just so we can keep multitasking.
Yeah.
I don't want to stay busy. Okay, cool. Thanks. Yeah, continue, Jerry. Sorry.
Yeah, this is what I was coming from. This week, the number 8 most consumed image that took up 3.86 gigabytes of bandwidth on our app was a user profile image for Aliana. And that's because her profile image is 341 kilobytes. So what I'm going to be pushing today is the other half of it that I was talking about that's going to optimize the user profile images, because she's very active in chat. So that, I mean, it only gets downloaded once due to the fast image. But what happens is a lot, she's being very active in chats, and a lot of users are like viewing her profile and stuff. So yeah, that 350 kilobytes of the images, that adds up quick. But for chat, I want to add a transformation to it. We don't need that whole profile image for her. For example, her whole profile image is 3,000 by 3,000 pixels.
Oh, right. And she's zoomed in probably on just her headshot, right?
No, it's not. No, the cropping gets uploaded to Cloudinary, the cropped version. So the cropped version is 3,000 pixels.
I see.
But in chat, that's when I said yesterday, I went through with a centimeter ruler and I measured certain icons on the screen. And for example, the chat icon, I can do another measurement right here, but it was like, half a centimeter for like the avatar for a user that sent a message. And that half a centimeter is like only 80 pixels on an iPhone 13 Pro Max. So I'm having Cloudinary, I'm transforming it to 100 pixels for chat. So now if we take her profile image that's being used in chat a lot and we downsize it to 100 pixels, it goes from 350 kilobytes to only 2 kilobytes.
Yeah,
It's a difference.
that's
A little difference.
crazy.
And no difference. You won't notice a difference.
Right. But I mean, the app will.
Yeah, you'll notice that the app is more performant because now you don't have to keep that in memory
Wow.
as you scroll through the chat.
Well, that's helpful.
And yeah, it's going to be a performance boost on that part. But then network-wise, rather than having to download a 350 kilobyte profile image, I only got to download a 2 kilobyte one.
Right.
And you're not going to tell the difference because it's so small in your device.
Right. Right. That's awesome.
So yeah, we're going to push this up and hope everything works out. But yeah, this is going to be for profile images, mostly for like chat and stuff.
Okay. Well, when that's in QA, let me know. I got a phone ready to go.
Oh, it is in QA. It's been in QA, yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay. So
Yeah, I'm just waiting to push it to production at this
I
point.
see. So all the chats in QA should be
Yeah, it should be optimized.
this, right? Okay. Now we don't have the same images in QA, like none of them really. So am I getting a good test? Because like my whole conversation, my lobby is pretty much just like direct message chats or really small group chats with no images.
Well, you can create a group with an image.
Yeah. Should we do that?
Oh, yeah, you can do that. I mean, I already have some groups. Actually, I can add you to a mock Neverboard club I made.
Yeah, let's do that.
Or no, that was just showing. That's weird. That was showing in my lobby. Okay, maybe not that one. Let me do. Well, you have like testy testers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that one.
Okay.
That's an example of one. And you can just like change the profile. I mean, change the group image. That should all be optimized. Really, if you're looking in that testy testers group, you can see like all the preview images, like Chantel's avatar.
Mm-hmm.
That one is optimized. You just Can't tell. It's so small.
Okay.
And
Mm, you-
topics,
mm,
we're gonna be doing it for top like we did it. I did it for topics.
that's cool. I was just going to ask that. So those images as well.
Yeah, because also going from a culinary report, in the last week, the image with number 10 in data consumed is the Brad Pitt's image.
Ah, okay.
That dog, again, very high resolution picture, but for topic for it to look right, we only needed it at 200 pixels. So that
Right.
dog was a 3 MB. No, I'm sorry, a 6 MB image.
Whoa.
And now, if we downscale it to 200 pixels, now we're only at 9 KB.
Okay. Well, it's a pain to test it in QA right now because that what streaming chat modal keeps popping up everywhere. But
This is gonna be pretty safe.
yeah, I was gonna say, why don't we push it to production and then you could revert it in an emergency, right?
Yeah, it's pretty safe.
Okay. Let's go ahead and push it.
We-
That's exciting.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, man.
I love that. Good
Mhm.
job.
Thank you. Yeah, if it works, that is going to be amazing.
Yeah, the app's gonna feel much lighter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm hoping with these Mint Mobile plans I have on these test phones, they were using all their data super quick, even when the
Right.
app was background.
Yeah, I
It
remember you
is.
were saying that, and we were like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
Yeah, the
So
one
we'll
you
see what
gave
happens.
me. Yeah, I couldn't. It's like unusable off
Right.
Wi-Fi.
Right. So this should solve some potential bandwidth issues and battery issues, right?
In a perfect world,
Yes, right.
Cool.
the bandwidth for sure. I mean, I'm going to assume that battery is a derivative of that.
Right.
Yeah, I did some research. I was like, okay, so for push notifications, for example, you get a chat notification and you get that group profile image in the push notification. I asked ChatGPT, does that image get re-downloaded from the server every time a notification is received? And ChatGPT said yes. So we are going to be optimizing the snot out of those images.
That's awesome. Okay, let me know when it's deployed.
Okay, I just pushed it up, so it'll take about 5 minutes.
Okay. Does that mean everything's gonna be slow for 5 minutes?
No,
Okay.
it's just we have we do a rolling deployment in production because we have multiple servers running.
Okay, good. Good.
Yeah, I'm gonna be watching the bandwidth in Cloudinary and seeing if that makes anything better. It was pretty high yesterday, but I think we just had a lot of people in the app.
Right. Which, yeah, no, we're probably at record numbers right now.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. So, what else?
Well, I'm going to be looking at this. I have the contact import issue fixed, John, that you were like trying to upload a contact in QA with Alexis Powell.
Yeah.
I got that fixed. So contacts are coming in fine now.
I see. What was the problem there?
It was part of my conversion to 11-digit phone number because the field size was different. It was cutting off a digit and it was making it invalid phone number. But now that I had it like a variable length, yeah, I got it fixed. I just had to change the function that extracted the phone number. But
And that was a contact that I added, um, like in the manual add contact button.
yeah, that still happens. Like it happened. It happened no matter how you did it. Like contacts just weren't coming in. But I
But
can't.
Well, what do you mean contact? We were getting contacts.
Not in QA for the
Okay.
past week since I started on this project to support 11-digit phone numbers.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see.
production has been fine this whole time.
Okay. It did skip that screen though to follow.
In production?
Yeah, but I think that account was automatically following because
Ah.
of their situation, probably. So
Maybe. Yeah.
yeah, that's probably why. I'll keep testing on that.
Mhm.
I've been seeing a lot of session replays and not seeing the screen where you follow people
Mhm.
ever since we made that change where we moved the cool kid screen. I don't know if it's just been a coincidence, but I have not seen it yet, not once. Yeah, I'll keep looking for it.
Mhm.
So, what else do we have going on?
The was it the cron job for the core flow?
Mm-hmm.
Is Ian in here? I don't did y'all run some test transactions at TPOS yet? I think.
Yeah, 3 yesterday.
Oh yeah, Zane got his employees to do it. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We saw those. The only thing I was still curious about was if the fingerprint copy.
It didn't match
Oh, it did.
my knowledge. Did not.
Oh, okay.
What does that mean?
Oh, we were going to try to use that to cross-identify customers across different vendors.
Right, and it didn't work.
Sounds like it.
That's the what came through the API didn't match.
I see.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Is that the end of that, or is there another?
So, Todd, yeah, I'll check that.
I'm not sure. I'll do a little more research on my own, see what I can figure out. Maybe do some more testing too.
Yeah, I'm curious to know where you got it from. Where you got those fingerprints from.
Oh, you have to ask Ian. Ian grabbed him. He's the one that told me about it last night.
Oh, okay, Ian grabbed it. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it almost was like a shot in the dark. Yeah. So we can go back on that later, but it looks like we're getting data from Zane's place. So I just need to know when we're going to turn on the core job, and that almost start whenever.
Oh yeah, Ian's not here, I guess. Okay. Well, we'll ask him.
Mhm.
So, okay, what else going on?
Let's see. I think I was really trying to focus on wrapping up that core job, but after that, that's kind of going to be a lot of big things I got off my plate.
Okay. I see a session replay for the core protect to you. It's pretty cool. So let's see if he favorites. He's at the screen.
Wait. Oh, the core. Okay, yeah. I was wondering. I thought like he had us. You had a session replay where it actually showed the thumbs up, thumbs down.
No, not that part, but he definitely went through that.
I see.
So, he's on the profile, thinking about it.
Come on, dude. It tells you. Click the heart. Click the heart.
Yeah, there was a big drawer. I mean, you couldn't have missed it. So let's see. I got another minute and a half of this. Oh, yeah, he favorited it. Bingo.
Hey.
There it is. So it does work. We're getting about one a week, so we'll improve it. But it's not zero.
Yep.
So that's cool. It's pretty cool. It's definitely viable. There's a lot of potential. Yeah, and he's continuing with his onboarding, so that's cool.
No. Oh yeah. Another thing I was going to do too is I was going to test all the SMSs and make sure the tracking works on them. I was going to run through that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's very important.
Okay.
Okay.
Our optimized images should be in production now.
Okay, great. It's all deployed, huh?
Yep. So
Okay, let me force close.
y'all tell a difference.
One sec. They're loaded quick. Yeah, I mean, so everything's really fast. No problems.
I'm curious if the memory footprint is any better. I'm going to assume it is.
It would have to be, right?
Yeah. But
Yeah. Yeah, it's looking good.
yeah, because all this is going to be by far smaller.
What about the profile images of our users? Is that affected as well?
Well, yeah, those are the ones that I said are optimized. Remember, I said
Right. Okay.
Aliana's was using like so much bandwidth.
That's right. Yeah.
The top two users for bandwidth consumption was Aliana and Zane.
Okay. Those ones do still take a little bit to load. Like
Now,
if you scroll the chat.
Mhm. So you're saying that their profile image is going to take a while to load?
Yeah, like there's an empty circle, like where
Yes.
it's supposed to be.
So Cloudinary has to do a transformation,
Mhm.
like resize the image. But
Mm.
after it's done once, Cloudinary has it saved.
Hmm.
So it's like the very first time anybody tries to view that image at that particular size, Cloudinary may take it's like an extra 100 or 200 milliseconds.
And that's going to be for every user, or you're saying just like one user does it and then it's good for everybody?
Right, it's good for everybody.
So like if I scroll up in all the chats, it'll now load for everybody faster.
Right.
That's interesting.
Now, when everybody comes back into the app, though, because they may have to re-download the images the first time they come back in the app
Mhm.
because of how Fast Image works. So Fast Image has some caching, which I'm curious to know if we could like dump our old Fast Image cache, if we could like add like a clear cache button.
What would that do for us?
We have the Fast Image cache would probably be taking up a lot of space for all these unoptimized images.
Maybe it's a question for Amine.
Yeah, if maybe we could add like in a settings, like a clear cache.
Like in the app, or you mean like behind the scenes?
It would be in the app. It would be just a clear cache button that would just clear out the Fast Image cache. Because
You said in the app.
yeah,
Well,
a lot of apps do that.
do they?
Yeah, Snapchat does that. Snapchat's like, delete cat. It literally says delete cached images.
Huh.
They probably use some derivative of Fast Image. Because like
something to think about. I don't think we need it right now.
like new users don't have to worry about it. Older users, they'll they probably have a significant storage usage. I don't know how much storage. Let me see if I can go to my.
Isn't there like some mechanism that removes that over time?
I don't know how Fast Image would manage that, but I'm right now like Circles on my phone has over a gigabyte. It takes up over a gigabyte on my phone,
Mm-hmm.
and 170 megabytes is the app bundle, and then a gigabyte on top of that is called documents and data, where I assume the cached images live.
Mm.
Yeah, I could imagine like the thing is if somebody's phone is running out of space, and iOS loves to run up your space over time, that they could see Circles as like a first candidate to clear space.
Hmm.
Just because of it using a gigabyte, because of it's in the top. I mean, I use the app every day. It's one of the apps I use the most, but it's in the top. It's number 10 in most storage used in my apps. And number 1 is photos, 2 is messages, 3 is Snapchat, 4 is Twitter, 5 is health, 6 is YouTube, 7 is Pokemon TCG, 8 is Instagram, 9 is Safari, and 10 is Circles.
So if we're behind all those, we're actually not bad.
Well, you also got to know that, like, okay, Pokemon TCG is a game, so that's just it's a gigabyte on itself, and then YouTube, Twitter, I don't know. Elon is just horribly optimizing that app for like storage and data usage.
Mhm.
Snapchat, like I said, all the images in there are cached. But now I have a bunch of other apps, like for example, Discord Discord uses 900 megabytes, Slack uses 700 megabytes, Tesla 700 megabytes, banking apps 500 megabytes, Amazon 500 megabytes, Walmart. There's thought I saw Walmart. Best Buy 400 megabytes. eBay 200 megabytes. Southwest app 200 megabytes. Starbucks 160 megabytes. So there's a lot of apps that don't use much space.
Okay. What's that, Danny?
I think we should do a deep dive on the Twilio charges ASAP.
Okay.
I had reloaded it with you at the office that night, John. I think it was Wednesday night, yeah, according to my email here.
Yeah.
And it just went through it, and see, we're at Friday 10 a.m. That was Wednesday at 8:28 p.m. and it was a decent amount of credits I loaded.
Yeah, we might have something going on there, Jerry. Kind of like,
It's got to be the external chat.
but even then, like maybe we're not optimized doing something
But
excessive.
think about Never Board Club. That chat always goes off, and we have a bunch of external users in it.
Yeah.
How many are in that one?
In there,
Yeah.
Let's see.
Might be a good time to send a message saying this is your last SMS. Download the app.
Yeah, that'd be maybe can we automate that? Like they receive X amount of messages and that happens.
Jerry can do anything.
We've kind of been suggesting that, just because of it can go crazy. Like UFC group, when we added 50 external contacts and we had hundreds of messages going through from Fight Night.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. There's 20 external members, and a lot of them are still receiving messages. Like they're just lurking. It's like Zaynab.
Interesting. But 20 doesn't seem like a crazy number to
Well,
be.
It would be 16 cents for every if all 20 people were receiving messages, it'd be 16 cents for every message that gets sent there.
Okay.
Still, so like even what's it? So 1,000 would be $1.60.
And create it. So since Wednesday,
No, 1,000 messages would be $166.
No,
how many messages y'all
not
think?
at 16, not
Yep.
at 16 cents.
At 16 cents, 100 that would be $1.60. Yeah, right.
Like 16 cents times 100? No, that would be $16.
No.
16 cents times 100?
Yeah.
That'd be $16.
You move the decimal twice.
Yeah. 1.6.
Oh yeah, he's right.
That can't be right, is it?
It is right. It is right.
How many
And,
messages do you think were sent in Neverboard Club from Wednesday?
I don't know, probably 1,000.
Anybody want to take a wild guess?
he just did.
1,000?
Mm-hmm.
2,600.
No. Yeah, because just in one night I had over 500. in a night. That
Yeah.
wasn't like the whole day. That was just one night.
And people are getting SMSs every time this happens. Yeah,
So how many again, Jerry?
like 20.
No, how many messages?
2,614.
So that would be $433.
Didn't you just load up $400 on it?
Yeah.
There you go.
Where did you get to the 16-cent number, Danny?
0.0083 per message times 20 people in it
Yeah.
equals 0.016.
0.016.
Oh, no, sorry, 0.0083 times 20 people
Yeah.
is 0.166.
Which is 16 and a half cents.
Not 0.0166, 0.166. Yeah, 16 and a half cents. And then you multiply that by the 2614 and you get 433.
Well, that's not ideal.
No,
Yeah,
not for one chat.
People lurk. I mean, there are external users in other chats too, and there were probably users that were added later on throughout the week. But yeah, this is not sustainable in the long term. I feel like all external users should have a cutoff, especially if they don't engage.
Yeah, when was the last time an external user converted from that chat?
Let's see. Let's see. The 16th.
It's been that long, huh?
So a week ago.
Yeah.
There's nothing compelling them to download it then.
Mhm.
And there are a lot of pictures sent. What happens when you receive a photo into the message? Does it tell you you're missing out on a photo?
No, I don't think it does anything right now for that.
Because without that, you're not really sure what you're.
It does something, but I don't remember what. Why don't we test that?
It just says like one attachment. I
Yeah,
think it says like one attachment.
could probably make it sound like you are missing out better.
Mm.
Will you test that out? I'll be right back. Give me a couple minutes.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all have an external phone y'all want to use.
Do you have one, Todd?
Sorry, I'm here.
Do you have it? Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Want to test sending a photo to an external chat and see what you see
Yeah,
on
no
your
problem.
end.
Yep. You got it. You want me to
Are you in Are you in a conversation right now as an external user?
I think I am somewhere. Let me look.
And then am
private
I
group
in it?
chat. I have some test messages that I've received for private group link chats or public chats, but I don't see any actual active. Oh, here we go. Twilio. John shared Rad Radio with you. Yeah, I'm in a couple chats.
We send it. Am I in any of those, or can you tell?
Oh, let me see if I can tell.
Or if you send a message into it, one of us has to be in there, so we'll see a message at the top of our lobby.
Yeah, let me see. Let's see. I'm gonna send it from that one. See if I can find if I can use them. Oh. No, this one. So I have one that doesn't look like it's ever been in a group chat or external chat.
That's never been in one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna send you a phone number.
Yeah.
Sec. Let's try this. What the hell? Oh. Okay, I'm going to. Where's the- there it is. Okay, I'm gonna text this to you, Danny. Okay, I just sent you a text.
Okay. I'm adding you to my contacts. On 553. Okay. Boom. I need to go sync my contacts now. All right. Message sent. You get that?
Hey guys, how's it going?
I received. Oh, I just got a message. Let me see what it says. How do I use this phone? What now? Okay, got a number. Oh, here we go. Danny Hinkle added you to a group chat with Jerry Trosclair, 5530 John Williamson on Circles. To chat, download the app. Okay, cool. Message and data rates apply. Reply hashtag exit to leave the group. Homes and privacy. And then a message from Danny that says, "Hey, how's it going?"
All right, Jerry. You want to send a couple messages back, and then I'll drop a photo in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You got that one, Todd, from Jerry?
Yep.
All right. I'm dropping a photo. Me stealing a Capri Sun out of Zane's fridge. Boom.
Hope there's enough.
I only did that. I only took that photo because they were in the Neverboard Club talking about how you better never touch his Capri Sun. So I took a picture of me stealing one and said, all right,
All
I sent a
right.
photo.
I have a message from Danny that just says one attachment. And that's it.
One attachment.
Yep.
It would probably be better if it said, Danny sent a photo to the group. Download Circles to see photos and videos. Because what's going to happen at some point, especially like in the Neverboard Club, is you'll have like one of the girls that the people recognize will send a photo to the group chat, and people will get curious. Can we change the message that shows up there, Jerry?
From one attachment.
Yeah, maybe it should say Danny sent a photo to the group chat.
Yeah, it just says
Or
what I see
Danny
is Danny
Neutral.
colon. So Danny colon one attachment.
Mm-hmm.
Danny colon one attachment. Danny colon. Shared a photo with the group.
That's good.
You're not going to put a call to action on it.
Yeah, I want to put a call to action on it for sure. I was just thinking if it should say shared a photo with the group or shared a photo with you. What do you guys think makes more sense? It is a group, but you kind of makes it feel more personal, although it's not entirely accurate because it is a group share.
What if it just said Danny colon shared a photo?
Yeah,
And then
Danny colon shared a photo. Download Circles to see photos and videos.
Danny shared a photo. It might be your wife. Download Circles ASAP.
An image or a photo?
Sure. I don't know. I kind of like photo. I don't know why.
And then do you like download Circles for the full in-app experience or download Circles to see photos and videos?
What about to see the photos and videos you're missing?
Yeah. Download Circles to see the photos and videos you're missing with a link. A direct link into the chat. It should be take you straight in. So then the question is, does the link come from the person who sent the photo or video, or is it standard like coming from the Circles buddy? So it should come from the person who added you to the chat as an external user. So if Zane's the one that added the
Yeah.
contacts, it should come from him.
Wait, what should come from Zane?
Okay, so let's say I share an image with the chat. It should say, Danny shared a photo. Danny shared a photo with the group. Download Circles to see the photos and videos you're missing out on. And the link into the Never Board Club, for example, should come from whatever user added that user as an external user.
Mm-hmm.
Chantal, can you write that verbiage down for Jerry?
Yeah.
Now, what are we going to do about the users that are sucking up the Twilio funds, just lurking?
Send it to me and Todd and Ian so we can look at it to Chantal and Slack. Make sure it's right. The people who are just lurking.
The ones that aren't downloading Circles.
Right. I mean, they might have just muted that SMS. Like they didn't stop. They might have just muted it. So they're not or block. I mean, yeah. They might have totally blocked it. That's right. And they just didn't do stop. Because we don't know. We don't know if it got rejected from a block. We know if they hit stop and we try to send it to them again. But that we're not doing that. But
If they block, we have no idea.
right. So I think there needs to be a cutoff point.
Yeah, maybe if there's just no response after so many days or so many messages that get sent in, if
Yeah.
they're not participating, they'll get dropped from the group. Or they stay in forever. I mean, does there
I'm
need to
looking
be
at
a
I'm looking
expiration?
at the there should be some kind of expiration, whether it I don't know if it should be a set amount of messages or a timer.
Because if people just stop using the chat, then no texts are being sent, right? Like if it's a dead,
Yeah.
which is fine. But if they are using it a lot over a long period of time, and the external user is not showing any signs of life, I guess yeah, we want to have them removed. Like almost like if there is, should there be a message when with the external group chat when as soon as they, it says, you are participating, you'll be dropped from the group after 45 days or something like that. I don't know.
45 days is still that can.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's just an example.
Yeah, I was thinking it should be an amount of messages.
And that could blow up that could run out very soon too. Like so we had 2,600 messages in Neverboard Club within 2.5 days.
Okay, let's see how many let's run some math here real quick. If one user receives 20 messages, that's 16 cents. Maybe we're willing to spend $1 per user to try to convert them. So that would be about, 125 messages. That would make sense to me. What do you guys think?
125, you said?
Yeah, somewhere around there, maybe 100. 100 would be 83 cents on the user. And then if we can't convert them with 100 messages, what are we doing?
I see.
And then we know we have a set cost we're willing to pay to try to convert the user into a download. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And then we'll have a goal of, hey, if we can convert one in every 4,
Mm-hmm.
we're at a good cost to acquire the download.
Yep.
So then we'll need to come up with what it says when they're starting to hit the limit, or a warning in advance. Like maybe the administrative message says you'll receive 100 free messages from this group. Download the app for the full experience. Did you message us already, Chantel? Yes, you did. Okay. Is that too many, or is that, what do you guys think on the number? If they message back, it's going to count as one too, isn't it?
No. Oh yeah, it will. It would.
Is what too many? I'm missing some.
100 free messages. Were you following that logic along?
I heard most of it. I don't think I heard the amount.
100. So it would be about $1 spent on that user.
This is based off of which current live chat? Just the UFC one?
Well, any of them. So let's say you get added as an external user. Maybe our administrative message says you will receive 100 free messages from this group. Download Circles for the full in-app experience. And then at the 100 message mark, we'll follow it up and say, hey, you've hit your limit.
That's technically 80 cents, right?
Yes,
Okay.
83 cents.
Yeah.
That way we're spending a max of 83 cents per user in an attempt to get them to convert into a user of the app, and that would be worth it. And if we can convert 1 in every 4, we have kind of a winning formula at our $4 cost per install.
I like it.
And then we got a little bit better with our photo messaging. Maybe we can make some other improvements.
Is this message that Chantel sent us just one of the examples of what would happen if a user were to send an image, or can we define what the final message is that we're sending them and try to spice that up a little? Because if like, let's say, for example, a user has received, I don't know, 99 messages, and we know that this is message number 100 to that individual, could we, if we're going to say, all right, this is going to be the last one you're going to get, I feel like that should be more of a call to action than previous messages.
Yeah, we can definitely send them a message for like we cut them off or when we cut them off.
Yeah, it could accomplish two things. One, it would help explain why all of a sudden it stopped. And two, it would ideally be a call to action of some kind.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Did John already agree with the concept of cutting off?
I haven't
external?
heard him. I haven't heard him chime in yet, but
Okay.
he left off at once you guys work test the photo. See what
Yeah,
it
I mean,
says.
I think that if we were to implement a limitation, that could be a good way to do it. Is to have a final catch, and then maybe what we do is if there's I don't know 100 messages that they missed again over the course of a week or something, we send them another one. So we're at message number 101, but it's just like, hey, you've missed this many messages in your group chat.
I love that. Who can help? I got to get ready and get down to Fair Oaks by noon. Who can help just make sure all of these messages are worded in ways that are clear to the user and achieve the goal?
I can help. How many different messages are we talking about besides the photo one?
That's a good question. So definitely the photo one. We also need one that says in the beginning, you will receive 100 free messages from this group. Download Circles for the full in-app experience. And then we need one that kind of warns them when they're getting low or at the very end.
And this is with the assumption that John's going to agree with that concept, right?
Correct.
Okay, Todd, were you hearing all this?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on capping it at 100 per user?
I don't know yet. I don't really. I'm kind of neutral at the moment. I'm trying to wrap my head around the 100 messages.
That's a lot.
Like I said, it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah.
That's a lot of texts. I mean, it could go very quickly though, or it could go on for a month, depending on how active the chat is that the person got included in.
I guess
Also,
it depends on how big the group is.
If you think about it, like if I add you to my softball chat and it's our softball team and I'm posting like schedules in there and things that the smaller, more intimate group is going to convert at a much higher percentage because you just need to be a part of it. You know pretty much everyone in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we even need to get to 100 messages on those ones to convert them most of the time. But these ones like the Never Bored Club have so much chit chat that may be completely irrelevant to you. And that's where I think it makes a lot of sense to cut it off. So
can we identify how many users have blocked us with Twilio's API?
I'd have to go through to get the exact match or the exact number.
But the numbers are there.
I can see how many messages were received. I see that some Yeah, we got a couple account suspended. Looks like that it just ran out and Danny must have just refilled it.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're talking about the funds, yeah.
Yeah, you just in the past 20 minutes. Okay.
I think that even if there was a limit imposed, it doesn't necessarily require us to say anything about the amount of messages that they're going to receive in the beginning. I'd rather that it be arbitrary, that they don't necessarily know when it's going to stop. But we stop it when we think that the logic applies. And maybe that's more than 100 messages in some cases. In other cases, it's less. Like a good example would be maybe it's a week worth of messages, whatever that entails. Maybe that turns out to be 500, but it goes on for a week, and by that time there's at least some value in it. But if a week goes by and they've only gotten 4 messages, well, then we could extend it, say, as long as they've received at least this many messages in this given time, we could trigger their final notice or something like that. But if where this all started was just how do we notify them of an image, I like the existing wording. I think that that's good. Danny shared a photo with a group, download Circles, and to see photos and videos you're missing out. To see the photos and videos that you're missing out on, maybe.
Yeah, the way you first worded it was a little better, Ian.
Missing out on writing that.
Yeah, it yeah, I'm looking through this, and the last message that we received from our external chat was on the 19th. And let me
What?
see.
You mean like the last message that somebody sent from an external chat that was received into Circles, right?
Well, no, did Todd just send a message externally?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah. See, I don't have where I can view our incoming messages. I want incoming. Discover messaging with AI, maybe. I want to see all incoming messages. I just prefer a filter. Oh God. Good. Twilio's AI said I cannot get incoming messages because we have a pool of Twilio messages, a pool of Twilio numbers. Let me see if I can go through the Twilio numbers.
I wonder if we should signal somehow to the rest of the group that a message is coming from someone's phone. And I say that because if you're in a large group like that in the Neverboard Club, it might cause people in the group to apply pressure to that person they know to download the app.
We can give them a different icon. Like right now, we just have a generic. We have like just a generic placeholder image that's the same as a Circles user without an image. But maybe we could I don't know, put some. That'd be funny. We put some funny icon or something, like a ghost.
Add a word to their name, like loser.
It shows
Loser,
that
loser Steve.
it shows what the person has the user in there as their contact as, huh? Like if Zane adds someone and their name as the contact is like Danny Circles, it'll say Danny Circles, won't it?
Right. Yeah, I'm going through the external chats, Danny. Todd, what number did you get the message from? Was it?
Let me tell you. Here we go.
I'm gonna think it was 202.
It is 202-759-0392.
Mm-hmm. And you responded to that?
I did.
I did not see anything. Let me see. Maybe the
Oh yeah. Wait, in the group, you don't see it. You see it in the group chat?
No, I do not see a
I
message
responded.
in this group.
You don't.
I wonder if that webhook is still disabled, but I can see how many we still got.
I thought you guys saw that. I responded because Jerry said, "Great. How about you?" I responded and said, "Good," and then Danny sent an attachment.
Let's see. I could find this out really quick. Let me go chat webhook. I don't think there's going to be any messages. Just by what I see in Twilio. Yeah. Yeah, it literally, that didn't matter. The message didn't come through, and I'd have to see why. But yeah, it didn't even matter because nobody's even responding. That was the first message I could confirm since the 16th. Yeah, I think if people don't respond, if people don't do anything the first 100 messages, we need to cut them.
I agree. I think it's more than fair, and really could even be 50. But I just want to get John's thoughts on that.
I think 100 is still 80 cents. So
Is there more FOMO if you have, because there's plenty of apps and memberships and things, that I personally have tried, and you have a trial, and it tells you how many days to subscribe or use the service or whatever. Sometimes I'll subscribe, I'll use the trial for as long as I can. If I find it valuable, I'll use it. But is there more of a FOMO if you give it like a trial date? They know when it's going to end, or just kind of leave it open?
I don't like the date because, again, you can have 1,000 messages sent in a chat in a day.
Right. Yeah, and part of my thinking in this type of situation is yes, and then there'll be the other ones that have 0 messages. And in the end, it all balances out. But that's obviously just a pure theory. But if that is the main concern, that we're just spending a ton of money on messages, then ideally we limit the messages. So if that is the case, then we limit to 100. Let them know when their bucket is low, like Danny suggested. And you said you have some messaging on that, or you wrote some of it down?
Yeah, I only rewrote the primary one that we started talking about this with. Yeah, I made it say, Danny shared a photo with a group. Download Circles to see photos and videos you're missing out on. So we could use that anytime. I'll drop that in the dev chat real quick. We can use that anytime that a photo is shared, but the concept of sending a message that is like, this is your final message, I feel like that would need some serious thought before we would implement something like that. Even having like a tiered structure, of like, let's say we're 75% of the way there, we could increase our call to action on some of these messages until we finally do reach okay, this is the last message you're going to get. Let us join the app and don't miss out on the rest of the conversation or whatever. But I think we could consider tracking how many messages a user gets, which, Jerry, I assume we could do no problem, right? And then basically doing a trigger on the content of one of the messages that they get, maybe halfway through that list or every quarter until the final one, something like that. I'm assuming that Nextdoor, or sorry, not Nextdoor. What was the name of that program, Todd, that you guys were doing some comparisons with? Yeah, they don't do anything like that, right? Where they cut you off.
I don't know that's true, actually. I don't know.
Got it. Okay. I mean, it would make sense because otherwise they're just texting people.
Right.
that are ignoring it. And one of the big problems too is if the person gets muted on the user's phone, we won't know because the text does still get delivered.
Or if the number gets blocked.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Now, if it gets blocked, yeah, it depends. Like iOS will communicate with AT&T, Verizon, and I think Sprint and the main ones, and they will actually pass through a carrier block so that the message would be undelivered. But it depends on the carrier, and iOS doesn't necessarily always notify the carrier of the block. They'll just block it internally in your device, so it'll still look like
Right.
a delivered message.
Now, with we have AT&T.
Yeah.
If I block a number, it doesn't really block it. It puts it like in an archive state, and the messages still arrive there.
It depends. Yeah. On
For me, it
Android,
does.
yeah, on Android, I believe that it can work that way.
I don't
And
know another way to make it work.
same on iOS. But you can institute a carrier block on messages. Um, that will
How is that even
happen
initiated?
if the initial message that you get comes from an unknown number. You'll have the option to report it as junk. There's a button that exists inside of the
Yes,
actual
that's
text
true.
string.
Okay.
Depending on the carrier and the version of the mobile operating system that you're on, that function will actually institute a carrier block. Um, and I don't know exactly. I think there's like intelligent triggers behind the scenes that happen to determine whether or not it's going to actually create a carrier block.
Okay.
Ultimately, I can at least confidently say that we can't rely on seeing that these messages are delivered and knowing that they're actually making it to users. Yeah, it looks like the way Apple's doing it with iOS 18 right now is that the phone number gets carried or reported to Apple, and then Apple will decide whether or not to institute a carrier block from that number. But generally, if Apple sends that request to like AT&T, then the number itself gets blocked by the entire carrier. But like meaning like any messages from that number to anybody. But that would require a lot of I would assume that could be possibly hundreds. I don't know. I know that it wouldn't just happen from one or two. Yeah, I don't really see much else there. Hey Jerry, quick question. Has Ayad asked you to push live on the web side, and do you know if that can be done?
Let me see if he's made any commits.
He's been working on it this morning. We have the ability to view transactions through the front end now.
Okay. Yeah, I see he made some pushes. Let me see if there's anything. Yeah, there's one pull fingerprint. Yeah.
And then he also has he's also implemented a feature that allows us to properly search all contacts of a business now.
Okay.
Go ahead, Amit.
I need your help, guys. So I created one group. Can someone send message there? Todd, Danny, John, Jerry also. I want some message.
Oh, it was in QA. If somebody
Yes.
switched to build 33, I have it in production now.
No, in QA.
Yeah, I did push it to production though.
No. That changes. We need some more changes there. So
Oh, more changes. Okay.
I'm just
Let me switch to 33.
who all are in QA. I will add, and I want some messages there. No, anyone from here?
I'm gonna send a message.
Okay, you okay. Message was read, no? Okay. Great. And Jerry, can you please upload my any messages
I did.
after? No, so you send message after that.
Oh,
Okay. Thank you. And let me do the testing.
What test group are you guys in?
I created a group in QA called applaud testing.
So what is your test account, Todd, which you are using QA?
What's the question? I'm sorry.
So which account are you using in QA?
Oh, it's a Raven, Raven, Raven Kai, with a woman's profile photo, more than
Raven
likely.
Man.
Oh, wait, is it? Actually, do me a favor. Use Michael Todd.
Okay. Hmm. So
Raven should work too. If you
Like,
added me.
you added the
send
wrong one.
messages there. Send some messages there,
Well,
and like Todd, you sent message and Sontel
Oh,
or
there we go.
Jim take it. Upload
Let's
it.
see.
Sorry.
you added the wrong one, Mitch.
No, let me remove it.
I added the right one.
Okay, so let me remove.
So if I message right now,
Hmm.
this is one of the ones I'm in.
This is okay. And Jerry, can you please upload his message, Todd message?
You want an image?
No. So can you please upload what Todd sent? Just
Yeah, there you go.
okay. Okay.
There we go.
Okay. Let me test it. Okay, so Jerry, I'm creating a pull request. So we'll deploy it in QA, and I want all to test.
Sounds good.
And from what I see, based on Jerry applauds, from my view, Amit, the your
Don't check now.
shouldn't be there.
We deploy it first. It's the old one. What you are seeing.
Right. Okay.
Hey Jerry, I found something kind of interesting inside of the web view for that AI built that shows. Well, actually, I think you might have built this one. The manage users section inside of our admin portal. John has two records in there, and they're identical. It's the same user key.
Yeah,
Oh, the phone number is different.
check. Oh, yeah. That's old test data that John had like an extra number tied to his account.
Well, I only bring it up because the user key is identical, and I can't see how that's not breaking stuff for him.
I see.
Like it shouldn't be possible for there to be more than one user key with the same ID, right? Or unless we just don't have that restriction on that column.
Yeah, I could tell. I could tell you what it is, Ian. It's because there are multiple phone number records. The join is creating another row.
Whoa.
That's just old test data. I need to clean that up. I know exactly what it is. Okay, let's see.
Oh, by the way, Jerry, we confirmed the fingerprints don't match in those transactions, and we tested from the two different accounts.
Man.
I mean, I kind of anticipated it would have been really, really scary if they did, because it would allow the individual owner of a business using Square to see content that they probably shouldn't be capable of seeing.
Mhm.
We should test it again using. I don't know if it makes a difference whether the card's manually inputted or swiped or tapped in those transactions. I guess it wouldn't matter because it could be a cash transaction too. Any difference how the
No, it matters. It matters if we capture the card data, or if Stripe did. But the thing is that Stripe does know that that's the same customer. They know who it is, but that it's the same reason that's uh, sorry, was I saying Stripe? So I was talking about Square.
I know.
But yeah, but Stripe has a very similar feature. They just break it down even more than Square does. They're called PMs, which is just it's an identifying payment method, and then we get an ID for the payment method. So, for example, if a Tech2 customer comes in and runs a credit card, and Stripe stores that PM, it generates an ID so that Tech2 can never see their credit card number again. But we do have that PM so we can rerun their card if they approve recurring transactions. So that PM ID it's unique to Tech2 though.
I see. That makes sense. I think I was thinking about the situation that I've seen, which is, and maybe this is completely different what we're talking about, which is if I've never been to People's Sacramento store, but I was at Fire Up using a credit card, and they use Square, and they have my name, first and last name,
Yep.
with the credit card that I used. If I use that credit card at People's Sacramento, my contact information gets automatically populated.
Yeah, and I know that. But the idea there would be that there is, I mean, obviously Square has that information.
Right, Square
It's
does.
why they're sharing it, but they don't put that level of detail in an ID format of any kind that we can pull
Yeah.
through the API. Not that we could find, and we were kind of hoping that, like, we had already looked, and then Jerry found that fingerprint, which we hadn't seen before. So I was kind of hoping that would be it, but it really does make sense that they wouldn't. They really shouldn't. It would be irresponsible of them to share that kind of data.
Right, but what was the goal then? What was the benefit of matching that print? What were we trying to
Well,
accomplish?
let's say you went to Fire Up and had a transaction, put your name in. We know who you were, and we were able to send you a message saying, like, "Hey, check in," because your phone number is, like, linked in that Fire Up database, which is connected through Square, and we can see that in Circles. So we send you a little push notification that says, "Hey, check in." But then another company of ours that we work with on Square, so you go next door to the teriyaki place, and they use Square, and you only go in and you buy a soda and you swipe your credit card, and you don't tell them your name and they don't add your name, but Square knows who you are. So in theory, if that fingerprint matched, even though none of the other transactional data would be relevant, if the fingerprint that showed up in the API call that we got matched the one from FireUp, then we know it's you. And then we could send you a push notification that says, "Hey, check in at the teriyaki place." But it does. I mean, I would have been very surprised if it did it, because it would be a pretty major security vulnerability for them to share that kind of content with other vendors of Square. That's private information that their API is effectively allowing without notifying users that they're doing it. So I was going to be surprised from the get-go if it was going to be something we could do. It's same reason that Stripe specifically won't let us use a PM ID with any other merchants. Like, it only works for us.
Interesting. Huh.
Yeah. I mean, if your number is in the teriyaki place, obviously that would work. As long as your phone number is inside of the transaction details, we can have it send us the transaction information, identify that it's linked to a customer, see
Now,
that there's a phone number, link it, and send you everything.
So okay, so then let's say, because that's assuming you bought a soda and it's your first time there. Of course, nothing comes through. But if you've been there before for any other type of service and you do have an account tied to that credit card, then it would tie. Then there would be some sort of tie between them.
It should.
So
now it
would work.
It can get tricky with tap to pay, and even now chips, which is what most people use. Swipes are safe. Those like actually provide the full 16-digit card number. Well, I shouldn't say they're safe. They're the opposite of safe, but those would be the ones that would work. But almost all tap to pay functions now, if not 100% of them, are randomizing card numbers. So and because that's now the most common payment method, it would be impossible to track people anyway, even if that fingerprint did match, because the whole point of the tap to pay is to be anonymous.
Right. Interesting.
Well, be anonymous, and so that the vendor can't steal your credit card information.
Right. Interesting. But yeah, but it would work though if I had been in this business before, like a Fire, for example, and had a membership, have an account. But if I came in and bought a candy bar with that same card, didn't provide anything, that it would tie to my account already in the system and show that this user Todd came in and bought a soda.
It should,
even though I didn't. It would. At Fire Up, it does.
Yeah, it did, but I would assume still depend on the method of payment that they used.
The method of payment that I don't know between the tap and swipe, and and manual transaction. I don't know how they is tied together.
Yeah, manual would be guaranteed. You would know it because of the card number.
Card number. Yeah.
Swipe would pretty confidently be guaranteed that you would get it. Chip is hit or miss. It depends on the bank because some chips don't randomize their chip ID or values yet. But the NFC function, I think that's technically what it's using. NFC is I think at this point in the U.S. it's 100% anonymous or randomized.
Okay. Well, good try.
Hello, Jerry.
Yep.
Created pull request.
Okay. On it.
Hey, John, you there?
Who else the opposite?
Yeah. So regarding the contact sync, do you remember the user key?
On which one?
On the issue of the person allowing context, but we believe that they added zero context.
Well, no, but I mean, we want to add the analytics to everybody. You want that one to look at to test with, or
Yes, sir. And I have good news on that. So I did spot the issue. We have an exact replica of the sync contacts code and logic specifically for onboarding. And for that version specifically, we didn't have tracking. So I added tracking for that. So now the information that Jerry wants, it is on the event we currently have. We just didn't have for that specific contact sync. So now with that, whenever a user grants a permission in onboarding, we should see a contact sync performed event showing how many contacts they actually added, like how many we are processing on the front end.
okay. Jerry could probably get you that user key.
Do you remember the user? Is probably the correct question to ask. But I don't remember.
Maybe.
Hmm.
Uh,
I'm gonna try to find it.
it might have been. It was like Julyessa or something like that.
Yeah, Jalissa.
Jalissa, yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. I don't see where she goes. I don't. Let's see. Hmm.
Might not have been her.